What's up, guys? So today I'm very excited to be able to share with you guys the Ebony Maw kit details as well as details on the reworked Mercenary kits. So that's just a heads up, they gave us this information with less than 12 hours before we could release the video. They did not give us any footage or anything like that, so yeah, this is a very quickly thrown together video, but I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless. So having said that, let's just jump right into it. First, we'll take a look at Bullseye. They have a change to Bullseye's passive. They added on war defense, assist allies on non-attack abilities. Now that is the only change they've made to Bullseye, and it's interesting. There are actually a couple other changes to some of the other mercenaries that help Bullseye out, but no stat changes to him whatsoever. Just now on war defense, he assists allies on non-attack abilities, which means both he and Taskmaster will be assisting on non-attack abilities. So now you're actually getting a good value on damage in terms of using abilities that wouldn't otherwise deal any. Next up, we'll take a look at Merc Lieutenant. They added a line to his basic. In addition to attacking primary target for 290% damage and granting 1 ability energy to a random ally, he will now also grant 1 ability energy to all mercenary villain allies. So that is actually super useful, especially for characters like Bullseye, who can't normally use their ultimate until turn 4. And assuming that you're running a full mercenary team, that will mean that one lucky mercenary is going to get 2 ability energy. And also keep in mind that Mercenary Lieutenant is going to use his basic every other turn. And as you'll see when we talk about his passive, he might be basicing even more often than that. Alright, so taking a look at Mercenary Lieutenant's passive, they added a bunch of lines, but just to clarify, it used to be on turn 40% chance to heal lowest health ally for 25% of this character's max health, and then if this character is mercenary, heal for 35% max health instead. They changed it to now specify if ally is mercenary, heal again for 10% of this character's max health. So it's a second heal now, adding that additional healing. They also added when a mercenary ally drops below 50% max health, fill this character's speed bar by 40%. On war defense, when an enemy attacks an adjacent ally, heal lowest health mercenary ally for 1500 health plus 10% of this character's max health. So I quite like this rework, and Mercenary Lieutenant was already pretty good. He still needs a bit more survivability, which again, fortunately, he's actually helped out with from one of the other mercenaries that was reworked, which we'll get to in a second. But the idea that he's going to be handing out healing whenever an enemy attacks someone adjacent to him is very interesting, and he's going to prioritize healing the lowest health mercenary. So if the person standing next to him is not the lowest health, it's going to heal someone else. And so it's very interesting, and whenever anyone is dropped below 50%, he's going to gain a lot of speed bar. Between having constant speed up from his special and gaining speed bar whenever someone drops below 50%, but also handing out a ton of healing, I suspect he's actually going to get to take a lot of turns. So moving on, we'll take a look at Merc Riot Guard. They changed his passive considerably. Merc Riot Guard was already a fairly respectable tank, one that certainly did not get enough recognition, and now they've gone over the top. They've adjusted his passive from gain 25% block chance to now also gain 25% block amount, and added on war defense. On turn, apply 1 deflect up to a maximum of 4 to adjacent allies, gain 10% block chance per mercenary ally. Now, Mercenary Riot Guard already had 50% block amount, so I'm not 100% certain on whether they are clarifying where that extra block amount comes from, because the standard block amount on most characters is 25%, so this could be just adding that line in there so you understand why he's at 50% block amount, but more likely what I'm guessing is that they are adding 25% block amount on top of his 50% base, giving him 75% block amount, which is tremendous. And remember that he's going to be able to taunt every other turn. And the way it's going to work with Merc Lieutenant now always giving out energy on his basic, in short, he's going to be able to taunt first turn and give a bunch of defense up, and then most likely taunt second turn as well and give a bunch of defense up. And depending on how many turns Mercenary Lieutenant gets, because he gets extra speed, it could be even more frequent than that. And he's also going to give these deflects, so if you put Mercenary Lieutenant next to him, Mercenary Lieutenant will be handing out a lot of healing because someone adjacent to him is being attacked, and he's going to give deflect, which will be good protection for Merc Lieutenant. And he's going to have a lot of block chance. He's going to get an extra, looks like 40% from the team, and he already has 25% block chance. So he's going to be at 65% block chance. That's going to be just insane. If he counts himself, he'll be at 75% block chance. So going to be really, really good, especially with either 50 or 75% block amount. And finally, let's take a look at Killmonger. So Killmonger's changes are short and sweet. It used to be in raids, gain 20% chance to counterattack. In raids, gain 20% chance to counterattack for each Wakandan ally. Now, both of those things have dropped the raid stipulation and just apply all the time. Now, I really like these changes to Killmonger because it's also going to improve him on the Wakandan team. Even in Blitz, he's going to be doing a lot more counterattacking, and he heals a lot based on the damage he does. So not only is he going to be dishing out a lot of extra damage, but he's also going to be healing himself more. It's going to help his sustain, and it's going to be really, really good also if he ends up being included on everyone's Mercenary team. So I like these changes for him quite a bit. And last, but certainly not least, definitely want to talk about Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw's traits are Villain, Cosmic, Mystic, Support, and Black Order. Ebony Maw's basic is Needle Storm, attack primary target for 80% piercing, bonus attack 3 times for 60% piercing, apply bleed. If the primary target is a hero controller, apply bleed for 2 turns instead. So this basic is deceptively good. It's going to do 260% pure piercing. It's going to hit 4 times, so it's going to do a really good job of getting around evades and deflects, and it's going to apply bleed on top of that, so the damage is going to be pretty good. And if you're attacking into a hero controller, it's going to be 2 turns of bleed and be even more savage. Taking a look at Ebony Maw's special, Insidious Whisper. This has a 5 energy cost and it is ready on turn 1. He's going to apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all allies. He's going to apply counter to self and all Black Order and Thanos allies. He's going to apply offense down for 2 turns to all enemies. He's going to clear counter for all enemies. This is a really, really powerful ability, and the fact that it's ready on turn 1 is so good. We still don't know his speed, but assuming that he gets to go even kind of early, giving everyone 2 turns of defense up, as well as offense down for 2 turns to all the enemies, is reducing so much damage. This is a really, really big ability, and the only part of it that's really tied to the Black Order and Thanos is specifically how many people he will give counter to. So this ability is really good with any team. Moving on, Ebony Maw's ultimate, Forced Transfusion. This has a 7 energy cost and it's ready on turn 2. Steal 3% health from all enemies and redistribute to all allies. This bypasses heal block. Repeat this attack 4 additional times. Apply slow to all enemies for 2 turns. Fill speed bar for self and all allies by 5% per Black Order and Thanos allies. So it's interesting that they've done the health steal as 5 increments of 3%. What's interesting about it is I think it was done to get around evades. Currently, it is possible to evade things like a Minerva ult or a Dark Phoenix special, but by having this hit 5 times, you would need 5 evades basically. Otherwise, you're just going to basically evade like 3% of it and then get hit by the rest. So I think that that's why they did it this way. And 2 turns of slow is obviously great, and then assuming that you're running full Black Order and Thanos, giving everyone 25% speed bar is obviously very strong. And finally, Ebony Maw's passive, Envoy of Thanos. On spawn, gain 2 regeneration, 2 death proof, and immunity for 2 turns, and fill an ally Thanos speed bar by 25% per Black Order ally. On ally Thanos' turn, if he doesn't have the Reality Stone, Time Stone, or Soul Stone, grant him them, and 2 regeneration, 2 death proof, and 2 immunity for 2 turns. This character can only do this once per match. On death of an enemy hero controller, gain charged, apply immunity to all allies, and barrier all allies for 20% of this character's max health. If charged, on enemy turn, apply ability block to all hero controller enemies and then lose charged. This cannot be dodged. Gain 30% resistance. Black Order and Thanos allies gain 30% resistance. Well, this passive does pretty much everything that we expected it to do. It gives Thanos, as well as himself, a lot of buffs. It gives Thanos full speed bar. It gives Thanos 3 missing stones that he needed to become empowered with a full Infinity Gauntlet. And then it really counters specifically Phoenix and Dark Phoenix. When Phoenix dies, or any hero controller, he'll gain charged. He'll give everyone immunity, which means no one's getting the defense downs from Dark Phoenix. He'll barrier all allies for 20% of this character's max health, so they won't even really feel the damage from the Dark Phoenix passive. And then as soon as an enemy takes a turn, which probably will be Dark Phoenix, he will ability block all hero controller enemies and then lose charged, which is of course Dark Phoenix not even being allowed to use her special to do any % health steal, or if she's been damaged to heal up. And it's undodgeable, so even a Psylocke passive won't save her. Otherwise, just gives resistance to the team. So all in all, it looks really good. Because we just got this information, I haven't had much time to theory craft. So if you want to hear the latest ideas on what we think the meta is going to look like, definitely check in on the very next live stream that you can attend. I've been streaming lately on YouTube every day around 6 p.m. Pacific time, although specifically for patch day, I'll probably be streaming shortly after this video goes live. So I hope to see you there. That's all I've got for you today, but I will see you guys real soon. Until then, peace!
Our objective is unchanged. Skynet has confirmed humanity's termination will commence.